Lots of reports here of the key Evergrande asset sale. What's the latest that we know over the sale?
Yeah, well, this is kind of what we would call, how the Chinese government would like to see the unwinding, if you will, of Evergrande with the key asset sales. They've tried to sell their stake in the new energy vehicle unit. So far, no sale. They've tried to sell their tower here in Hong Kong. So far, no sale. They did sell a stake in a bank up in Shenyang recently to the Shenyang government, that to pay back debts to that lender. So the government coming in slightly there, a local government. But this time, this is a key asset, obviously. Evergrande Property Services is the property management arm. It's really, after the big tanking of 80% by the Evergrande shares, it is the most valuable asset, if you will, in the Evergrande portfolio. It's a listed company here in Hong Kong. They are suspended, as well as Evergrande today. Through all this crisis, the shares have not been suspended. So there was lots of speculation. Is this going to be an announcement of the bond coupon payments or that big jumbo Fortune Enterprise maturity that was yesterday? Was it going to be the debt restructuring that we've been long awaiting? But no, there's a news site in China, Taijian, reporting that they're going to be selling a 51% stake in Evergrande Property Services for what originally was a price tag that I thought was way out of the ballpark, a 40% premium over the last traded market price last Thursday, $5.1 billion US. It didn't sound right to me, and sure enough, that news media site has corrected that and amended that 51% reported purchase is going to value the company at about 40% or at about a 28% discount. So that makes much more sense, but we're still waiting for that announcement to come to the market.
So any more news, Steve, on the Evergrande Jumbo Fortune, the unit Jumbo Fortune? They had a opaque bond, some would refer to it as, in terms of whether it could pay. I mean, there's lots of caveats here. In other words, even though they might not make an interest payment, they have a number of days in which to do so. So there's lots of nuances. Any clarity on that?
Well, generally, a principal payment, there would not be really the same kind of grace period that you would get on the coupon payments of interest that we saw the last couple of weeks, where they missed $127 million or so, $277 million, I should say, in missed payments if you combine them all up. And there's going to be 3 more coupon payments that are due next week on October 11th. Now, this one is much more opaque. It's the maturity, it's the principal that is due, and there's been no word yet on, exactly whether Evergrande actually is the guarantor on that bond or where the payments are coming from and whether they're going to fulfill that obligation. But if they don't, essentially by today, since yesterday was the maturity date, it was a Sunday, today is the date, we haven't heard any word. That's a default.